I thought I was too smart to be groomed. About a week ago, I replied to a chat request on Reddit. I was immediately suspicious and stated openly to the person, because most random messages here are from weirdos. He said he was 17, but after exchanging face photos, I knew he wasn't, and I told him that and he denied. I knew something was off, but I was bored and curious. I've always been interested in online manipulation and harmful behavior patterns, so I treated it like my own observational study, which I know was dumb in the moment and now. Over time, the conversations became increasingly inappropriate, and he pushed to move to other platforms. After switching apps, he admitted he wasn't actually 17, which I already knew. He was very open about his behavior and talked about how he likes testing boundaries. He was into people resisting and power dynamics. I was very interested and intrigued by the whole psychological aspect of his behavior, and oftentimes I'd ask very blunt questions about his behavior and actions that he didn't want to answer, unless in exchange for some suggestive photos. Despite that, we did also have long conversations about random life topics, which made the situation confusing. I started unconsciously developing value for our time together, and even started enjoying his company, which disgusted me since he was, a predator, and self-admitted one at that. I liked how he made me feel special or chosen. Oftentimes he'd compare me to his past victims, and tell me how smart I was. I'd push back on those words, stating I wouldn't fall for this little manipulation strategy, but if I'm being honest, it was working. Eventually we moved to Telegram. He openly admitted to manipulating people online, and described past situations in a way that deeply disturbed me. I asked him very direct questions about why he does this, and how it started. At some point he began making threats about leaking if I ever stopped talking to him. He had admitted to blackmailing 3 girls before me. I would oftentimes provoke negative reactions by talking about leaving, because I liked making him mad. I thought it was funny and that he deserved to be upset, but I also liked the validation I got from him being that mad at even the mention of leaving. Like I was that important that he was willing to risk the legal system. I know a stupid thought, but it's how my brain processed it. It was fun in games until he knew my first name, my city, what sport I did, what grade I was in, my phone number, and even made AI images of me. That's when I started getting freaked out, which I think he liked. He always said how he liked how I resisted, yet gave in a little. He was very into the whole chase, power play, and resisting talk. Once the whole blackmail thing became very real to me, I started saving records of everything and reported it through the appropriate online reporting channels without telling him. We continued talking like normal throughout it all. Around a day after I reported it, his Telegram account was deleted. I reported him on February 5th at like 10 p.m. and the account was gone sometime this morning between 2 and 11 a.m. I don't know whether my report caused it or if he deleted it himself. The conversations on the 6th were pretty normal beforehand, and I forgot if his last message was at like 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. Even though this only lasted about a week, I'm having a hard time emotionally. I feel a pit in my stomach at the thought that I'll never talk to him again, and it feels gross because I know exactly the type of person he is. It's also my own fault partly because I knew what I was getting myself into. Not only that, but I worry he's gonna leak stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. I dug my grave, gotta lay in it, I guess. If any of you guys have any similar experiences or advice, that'd be great to share. Thanks for reading all this. Just really needed to get it off my chest. I think someone is using my phone to track me. So I think someone hacked my phone and now knows everywhere I go. I get messages on Snapchat and X from him, and I think he uses alters or friends messaging me too because they come from randoms. So I like to make a lot of friends, and I think most people online are nice and friendly. Yes, I know not everyone is good, but I like seeing good. I have made some bad friends from people who think I would do anything for them, and bad things did happen. So I like to use social media a lot, pretty much all social media apps I use. I have lots of followers on each one, and I keep everything public because I like making random friends, so I can always have someone to talk to. Someone on Snapchat added me, who said they are close to me and want to be friends in real life. I liked the idea, but then he asked about getting together, and alone, and do fun stuff, like touch me. I told him I'm 13, and he said he's 17, but from the look of his Bitmoji, he looks a lot older. but I guess some people don't like using their real faces to make one. He messages me after every time I post on TikTok, or X, and asks usually about what I'm wearing and if I ate today. I like taking lots of pictures of my food, so I guess he kinda knows what I do in a day. Sometimes I show him my outfit, and he likes to make weird comments about how he wants to give tribute to my picture, or tells me to show more of my body so he can give me a better tribute. It's kinda weird he wants to treasure my pictures, but it makes me feel famous. Like in June, I got more messages from him that he sees me and I asked him to say hi. I never met any friends I made online, so it would be cool to see what he looks like, cause he never shows me. He just says he's shy and he's ugly or nervous. I got kinda annoyed because every day he asks me to see pictures of me and he can't even just say hi. Then next week at the mall sent a picture of me at the mall and tells me he's the cute boy by a store and I should say hi to him. I saw the boy who seemed pretty cute, but he looks like he's 25, not 17. I asked him if he's the guy I'm talking to, and he said no. This time I'm upset and I called him on Snapchat video call and picked up, but his camera was black, and I told him stop playing tricks with me. He just told me he's sorry in a really deep voice, and that he will meet me at a local park next week. I kinda think he just wants to surprise me, so I was like, okay. It's next week, and like 6 around the time he said he'll meet me. I was at the park with no one there, and he just sent me a message saying he wants to do more stuff to me, and he's in the pickup in the parking lot. I saw the pickup and felt really weird, cause I saw like a 40-year-old man sitting inside. I texted my girlfriend and told her to come pick me up, cause I'm so scared of moving, cause I don't want the guy to come out and charge at me. I saw him get out of his pickup, and he waved at me and texted me to come say hi. He has lots of clothes for me. I had a full-blown panic attack and started to cry quietly because I feel like I'm gonna end up a missing person. I kept texting my girlfriend to come and she didn't respond till a minute later with she's almost there. The man kept texting me and saying he has candy and clothes and makeup and even kitties for me to play with. I didn't even look up because I didn't want to see him. I saw his texts, but I'm an idiot because Snapchat says when I read texts. Finally, my girlfriend did arrive, and the man got in his pickup and left. I run to my girlfriend and cried so much, cause I don't know what happens to me if he got me. I stayed with my girlfriend for a week after, cause my mom is always busy at work and her sister works too, so I'm home alone a lot. My girlfriend said to call the cops, but I read others that cops only help if I'm touched or hurt. He didn't message me since July, but I think he still follows me and likes to look at my pictures, since he asked for so many. I don't want to private my social because I like making friends, and I don't think he can stop me. If you say I'm too young to use socials, then please leave. I don't need to be babied. Awareness to all parents and older siblings and family members. I never thought this would happen to my own sibling. Earlier, I was just about to hand my sibling's iPad back, but I noticed that the Roblox chat was still open. Out of curiosity, I opened it and read the messages. I could hardly believe what I saw. There are only 2 of us siblings, and since I started college, I haven't been able to closely watch over them because I live far away. I thought they were just becoming more mature as they grew older. I assumed it was simply a generational difference, and that this was how kids their age communicate now. It turns out it was because of this game. When I opened the chat, I saw that my sibling was talking to someone, and it was very obvious that this person was not a child. The avatar looked simple and harmless, but the questions, they were clearly meant for an adult. There were questions that should never be asked of a child, questions that were extremely inappropriate and disturbing to read. The person was asking about my siblings' sensitive body parts and what they felt about them. They were even telling my sibling to do certain things, and my sibling was replying with how they felt. It was absolutely disgusting. I can't bring myself to share the rest of their conversation here because even I couldn't bear to read it. I don't know how long they had been talking, but just thinking that my sibling may have been approached by this kind of person for a long time already is terrifying. It sends chills down my spine. Please, if you have a child or younger sibling who plays Roblox, do not leave them alone in the game without supervision. Check their chat, friends lists, and who they are talking to. There are many people out there who target children because of their innocence. Being cautious is not being overdramatic. It's better to be overprotective than to regret it for the rest of your life. For now, my sibling is grounded from using the iPad, and our parents also bought them a new phone with monitored apps and time limits. 2 years ago, I was groomed by someone online. I'd like to preface this by saying I was 14 when this began, and it's been 2 years, meaning I'm still a minor. I'm also going to try and omit as much as I can. I'm terrified of said person finding this post and recognizing the story, hence the throwaway. I don't know if this is an okay place to post this. For me, it is a confession, but I need to put this somewhere besides my own head. 2 years ago, I was messing around on a sort of anonymous roleplay site, not inherently sexual, from a specific fandom. After a bit, I met someone who, like me, was just there to mess with the people who were roleplaying. Let's call them A. We struck up a conversation, and this dude was fully convinced that we knew each other because I had incredibly similar interests to their closest online friend. I agreed to join a Discord chat with this person and their friend, who we're gonna call S, just to see where it would go, as he thought this was some prank that his friend was pulling. Obviously it wasn't, but I kept talking to them because we already had stuff in common. Eventually I came to find out that these new friends of mine were significantly older than me, 21 and 19. I kept my age a secret for a while, and I did a decent job at it since I'd like to think I'm not too immature. Later though, after some thorough convincing on their parts that they didn't care about what my age was as long as I was cool, I told them both I was 14. They didn't mind though, which was a relief. Time passed and A and I grew closer. A had issues at home with his family, as well as some past trauma which I did my best to help him with because we had become friends. I discussed my future and my goals with him and got occasional advice. At this point we messaged at all hours of the day and night and talked on the phone whenever possible. This was partly because I didn't have too many in real life friends, and partly because he guilted me into talking to him. This might be a good time to mention that I've been diagnosed with clinical depression since I was 11, as a result of neglect in an abusive family. This took place during my freshman year of high school, and I was super vulnerable. At the time I did enjoy talking to him. He complimented me and assured me that I was doing okay in life thus far, telling me it looked like I had a good-looking future. I liked the attention and affirmations, and it felt good to have an adult tell me that it looked like I would do well. After 2 months, I was confessed to. He told me he knew it was wrong and that he knew it was awful, but he was somehow very attracted to me. He said it was okay if I didn't want to talk to him anymore because it was weird and wrong, and that he could deal with it. Looking back on my screenshots, I feel sick every time I read what I said back. I said I felt the same way. I don't know if I really did or not, it doesn't matter. I didn't want to lose my friend. I know that I hadn't ever had someone give me that much attention before, and I didn't want that to end either. I had never had anything even close to a relationship before, and I was just so surprised and excited, so I told him I felt the same way, and our relationship started. This is when things began to weigh in. All my time was spent texting or calling him. I became a shut-in, as it was summer break and I barely left the room, let alone my house. I always lied about who I was talking to. I've never told anyone the truth about who I was talking to all that summer. Unfortunately, this is where it began to get rough for me. He became much more controlling and emotionally manipulative. In his eyes, everything I did was wrong, to the point where I referred to it as a running joke to keep myself sane. I wasn't allowed to defend myself, or I would be ignored and distrusted. I began to need him, his attention, his affirmations. It was all that I had. He controlled my entire life. Anytime that I was busy, he made me feel so guilty from not being there for him. I'm in choir and each rehearsal would be a slew of messages and guilt, and when are you getting home? Call me. He began making plans for us for our future. He came up with this insane idea of me moving across the country to go to college, and we would live there together. I hate myself for letting this happen to me. Unfortunately for me, the manipulation doesn't end there, but there's too much to cover here, and I need to move on to what hurts the most. He groomed me. I don't know if this was what he was planning from the start. He said it wasn't, but that's what it was. I was pressured into nudes, pictures, and videos. I did it for the same reasons I did everything for him, because I just wanted him to be happy. I thought it was self-consciousness in the past, but I've come to realize the only reason he never sent anything back was to cover himself. Of course, we only knew each other online and lived in different states, so it never went any farther, except for when it almost did. My choir group was considering taking a field trip to his state, which he was excited about since that meant there was a chance for me to sneak off and meet up with him. Thank God for me, we ended up not receiving enough funds from the school due to a music program budget cut. It felt like an epiphany the day I realized I wasn't happy, that none of this was healthy. Sophomore year had started up, and one of my only friends and her boyfriend had started inviting me out to places. Even though I was a third wheel, it gave me an opportunity to see what a healthy, albeit teenage, couple looked and sounded like. I was like, wow, what the heck? I want that too. And even though I hadn't fully realized how bad of a situation I was in, I still knew I wasn't happy and that this wasn't normal, so I broke it off. He threw a tantrum. I think it was a combination of panic and anger, since he wasn't expecting it. He yelled, he blamed me. He told me I was such a crap person for doing this to him after all the stuff people had put him through. I apologized. I cried. I said I just wanted him to be happy, but I still didn't want to continue what we had, and I left. I admit I had tried to be an adult about it, and even offered to continue being friends, since again, I hadn't fully realized what had happened to me, but he cut ties. This past September, I reached out to S. By then, I had fully realized what had happened, and I figured he deserved to know since at the time we had hidden everything from him. I thought that if they were still friends, he ought to know so that he could distance himself. Told him everything and gave him what screenshots I had as proof. I think after everything, the real kicker is that this was all over Discord. I don't know if that was intentional or not, if I'm being honest. But after I had broken it off with A, he had a bot go and delete all his messages to me. I don't have any real proof. I have some screenshots, but the usernames in them are all different because we changed them constantly. There's nothing I can do. S believed me, but didn't distance himself. It hurt, but he said he had to. I'd be lying if I said part of me didn't reach out to him for comfort. He was the first person I ever told, but S begged me not to report A. He said that A was recovering from a rough spot and if something like that happened, he would surely off himself. But at that point, I didn't care if he was alive or not. I haven't tried to contact the authorities, mainly because S is the only person who knows and I need him. I don't have anyone to talk to about this. The other reason is that none of the screenshots I have would be viable evidence, as A never used his name as a username. S asked me if I wanted to talk to A. I told him I didn't, but he said A wanted to talk to me, so I unblocked him. He said that he never meant for me to get hurt, and that he saw that I would be successful one day and just wanted to be a part of that. Neither of those things excuse what he put me through. He begged me not to report him. I told him I wouldn't, since he was a coward and deleted all his messages, and that I just didn't want anything else to do with him. I obviously still think about this often. This whole thing, I hate myself for it. I just have no idea what else I can do anymore, other than to post it here so that it's not all in one space anymore. I've become disgusted with myself, thinking about everything I did, everything I let happen to myself. I feel so ashamed, and I feel so worthless because of it. I just feel like nobody could really be interested in me. They just want to use me like he did. I shouldn't have been stupid enough to let someone do something like this to me, even if I was young. I'm too ashamed to tell anyone, and at this point, I don't think there'd be a point, since I don't have anything I could use against him. I was just a kid though. I still am just a kid, and I don't know what to do anymore. I'm posting this with zero expectations. I just need to get this out there. I'm sorry if this is a bit scattered. But if you made it this far, thanks for your time.